Good morning, everybody. It's going to be Monday morning's devotional, and we're still in the book of Genesis, looking at the different tests that God has taken people through in the stories of the beautiful Old Testament, and see if we can derive some lesson and learning of some of the tests that maybe we will go through life. The objective of a test that God gives us is not that He's playing a game with us. The objective is that we should pass the test. Now remember, as we look at the life of the one we're going to be looking at now, Joseph is our man, and he is the epitome of somebody who lived well his life. We look at his life and we see a man who was psychologically balanced, a man who understood how to absorb the pressures and the punches of life, a man who was able to become what God wanted him to become in the most remarkable way. In fact, it was so remarkable that some theologians have looked at Joseph's life from Genesis 37 through to Genesis 50 as a beautiful parallel of many of the aspects of Jesus' life. And so you'll pick up these as we go through the story. But Joseph had to weather many storms. He had to overcome many tests in his life. And the question is, how did he do it? How did he do it? What was on Joseph's mind that enabled him to pass some of the tests that we're going to look at over the course of the next few weeks as we look at his life? But as you understand the story of Joseph, there's been movies made about it, musicals about it. And in fact, I acted in one of those movies once. I was one of the brothers of Joseph Mean. And we learned so much from this incredible story that I hope that we're able to apply into our own lives. Joseph was the favored son of Jacob, his father. He was one of the last born of Jacob's children, and he wore the coat of highest privilege. He wore the coat of many colors. His brothers resented him for that. Joseph probably didn't play the issue down. He probably flaunted his favoritist situation with his brothers, and the brothers hated him so much they wanted to get rid of him. But everything that they did to him was, in a sense, very unfair, because Joseph had not really done anything to attract the attention that would have got him the treatment that he got, other than just flaunt his favored position. Anyway, we know the story, how that his brothers took him and they captured him. They stripped him of his robe of beautiful colors. They killed an animal, dipped it in blood, took the coat to the father, Jacob, and said, "Your son has died." And they lied. You see how one sin leads to another? The first thing they did was have an evil intent, and then they did the action, and then they lied, and they continued to live out the lie all of the course of their lives until right towards the end of the book. But we see how one sin basically leads to another. But Joseph was a victim of some very brutal and horrible stuff, but he never played the victim. There was something in his psychology, something in his understanding of God, that if we could just grasp it, this life would not be as mean to us, or it might be as mean, but we would respond completely differently. So the first thing we understand is asking the question, what do you do when you don't know what to do? And it was probably going through Joseph's mind as he sat in a slave pit, waiting to be sold to a bunch of people who would take him to Egypt and sell him as a slave. He must have thought to himself, what have I done to deserve this? Why has life been so mean to me? I don't deserve this thing. But it would appear that something inside of Joseph never allowed him to play the victim to his circumstances. I'm sure he asked the question, what have I done to deserve this? What do I do when I don't know what to do? Let's learn the lesson from Joseph that you will see repeated time after time after time. And it simply is this. When you don't know what to do, when things get really tough and you have no explanation for them, you simply throw yourself at the feet of the sovereignty of God. This last Sunday in church, we looked at looking at life through different lenses. When we look at life through the lens of the sovereignty of God, we see life very differently. We see that we have a God who's never taken by surprise. We see a God who's able to meet us where we're at. A God who is never uncompassionate, although He may feel somewhat distant from us from time to time. He never is. He is always there. And we see Joseph from an early age taking on this attitude of no matter what life throws at me, I will always trust the sovereignty of God. Be it good, as you'll see later in the story, or be it bad, The sovereignty of God is the lens through which I will see this life. If we really understood, people, the amazingness of the wonder of God being king, of God having the final say in this life and in the next, we will understand that God always has good intention for us, even if the circumstances don't suggest so. And so when we look at the beauty of this man's life, I want you to pick up straight away, and you're going to see it over and over the course of the next couple of weeks. You're going to see the wonder of the understanding and putting on the glasses of the lens of the sovereignty of God. You will never see life the same. We will understand that God does His best work in our darkest hours. You're going to see that. You're going to see how character is built over the course of time. We can lose it and lose the blessing of God if we respond badly, but the sovereignty of God is what it's all about. Let's learn what it means to trust God where we don't understand what life is about. We don't understand why people do bad things to us, even though we don't deserve them necessarily. It's all about understanding the wonder of the magnitude, of the magnificence, of the might of our God, who is totally sovereign, and His perfect will is always done. Man, I hope you grab this week of devotions. I'm really excited about it. And if there's only one lesson to learn, I hope it's that one. Have a great week. And we're so excited we can get back to church again. 250 people. We're moving into our new sanctuary. So those of you who are watching this, who come to our church, or you're in this area, get yourself down to church this coming weekend, Sunday. And we're moving into the new sanctuary. We are unbelievably excited about that. Hope you can make it. Otherwise, get yourself into church somewhere. For goodness sake, that's the best place to be. But we're talking about the sovereignty of God. Have a great day, people. God bless you. Bye.